Hello there, welcome to NTV English News Bulletin. I am Bhavana Casey. In the beginning, we have the headlines. Flood-fed Saptakoshi River breaches embankments at Belka municipality of Udaipur. Locals being relocated as floods inundates settlements. Foreign Minister Wang warns over Pelosi's visit to China's Taiwan region, says move seriously violates One China principle and infringes China's sovereignty. Ukrainian grain ship reaches Turkish waters. Ship first to leave Ukraine since Russia began blockading its ports in February. And Australia continues its dominance in Commonwealth Games with 42 gold medals, host England on second, followed by New Zealand on third. Welcome back. You are with NTV English News Bulletin. Now we have the news in details. The Solan Saptakoshi River has breached the embankments and inundated human settlements in Belka municipality of Udaipur district. Hundreds of houses are at risk as flooded river breached the embankments and entered the settlements. Although attempts were made to stop the floods on Tuesday afternoon, the Solan River broke the temporary dam on Wednesday morning. The local residents have now started leaving the village. The municipality has started evacuating the residents of the affected areas to safer places. Mayor of Belka municipality, Ashok Karki, said that 600 to 700 families are likely to be displaced immediately due to the flood in Kosi River. Locals of Sisoli Ghat, Dhauri Tapu, Chilime, ABC, Sri Lanka Tapu and Ramnagar have been affected by the floods that has passed through Dumri Bote. Human settlement was set up in the area where the Kosi now entered in 2045 BS after the river changed its course. Hundreds of families are likely to be displaced in Udaipur, Saptari and Morang as a result of the change in the course of the river. Meanwhile, Home Minister Balkrishna Khan has directed all authorities concerned to step up the transfer, rescue and relief efforts in the flood-ravaged area after the Solan Saptakoshi River started eroding the human settlements. Home Minister Khan directed Home Secretary Teknarayan Pandey, Chief Executive Officer of National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Authority Anil Pokhrel and Udaipur Chief District Officer Birendra Kumar Yadav, among others, to immediately make arrangement of rescue, relief and temporary residence in the disaster-affected areas. Home Minister Khan has also consulted Minister for Foreign Affairs Dr. Narayan Khadka about the rehabilitation of flood-displaced people, their temporary settlement and relief arrangement. Minister Khan consulted with Foreign Minister Dr. Khadka as the latter is also from the river-eroded Udaipur district. Security officials also said the river has also taken away the structures that were constructed to check the erosion some days ago following the rise in water level. The Narayangarh Mugling Road section, which was operational after 24 hours, has been blocked again due to the rain-triggered landslides. Even though the road was cleared, it was blocked again. The road, which was closed since 11 p.m. on Monday, was reopened around 10 p.m. on Tuesday. However, the Chittagong police said that the road was completely closed after another landslide at the same place. Efforts are being made to open the road, said the information officer of District Police Office Chittagong, adding that hundreds of passengers are stranded due to the landslide. With this update, time to go for a short break, but still to come we have. Welcome back. You are with NTV English News Bulletin. Now we have the latest updates from the international front. In disregard of China's solemn representations, U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi brazenly went ahead with her visit to China's Taiwan region, Chinese State Councilor and Foreign Minister Wang Yi said on Wednesday. This move seriously violates the One China principle, maliciously infringes on China's sovereignty and blatantly engages in political provocations, which has aroused strong indignation among the Chinese people and widespread opposition from the international community. stability. Wang said it proves once again that some U.S. politicians have become troublemakers of China-U.S. relations and that the United States has become the biggest destroyer of peace across the Taiwan Strait and for regional stability. Wang further stressed that United States should not dream of obstructing China's reunification, adding that Taiwan is part of China. The first grain ship to depart Ukraine since Russia invaded has arrived at Turkey's Bosporus Strait. The Razoni, which is carrying 26,000 tons of corn, will be continuing its journey to Lebanon on Wednesday. Russia has been blockading Ukraine's ports since it invaded in February, intensifying global food shortages. Under the terms of a deal brokered by Turkey and the UN last month, both sides have agreed shipments can resume. Ukraine said its naval vessels will guide cargo ships through waters which have been mined. The United Nations announced that Yemen's internationally recognized government and the Houthi militia have agreed to renew the ongoing nationwide truce for another 2 months. It is said that the UN's Special Envoy for Yemen, Hans Grunberg, said in a statement released on the UN website that the main objective of the current truce continues to be providing tangible relief to civilians and to create a conducive environment for reaching a peaceful settlement to the conflict through a comprehensive political process. Grunberg's declaration came after he held a series of meetings with representatives of Yemen's warring sides and high-ranking politicians during the past months to ensure a continuation of the nationwide truce that came into effect on April the 2nd. More updates lined up on the other side, but before that, time to go for a short break. Welcome back. Now to more updates from the international front. Cambodia's Prime Minister Hun Sen warned on Wednesday that the Association of Southeast Asian Nations would have to rethink its approach to solving the situation in Myanmar if the military government there executed any political prisoners. 4 opposition activists, including a lawmaker, were executed in Myanmar last month in a move that caused widespread revulsion and anger. Hun Sen said that the execution had changed the situation dramatically and that ASEAN members were deeply disappointed and disturbed. More than 70 other prisoners are currently believed to be on death row. ASEAN, with the support of the international community, has been pursuing a mutually agreed plan with the generals called the 5-point consensus to restore some sort of calm, but progress has been negligible. Kansas voters on Tuesday sent a resounding message about their desire to protect abortion rights, rejecting a ballot measure in a conservative state with deep ties to the anti-abortion movement that would have allowed the U.S. Republican-controlled legislature to tighten restrictions and ban the procedure outright. It was the first test of voter sentiment after the U.S. Supreme Court's decision in June that overturned the constitutional right to abortion, providing an unexpected result with potential implications for the coming midterm elections. While it was just one state, the heavy turnout for an August primary that typically favors Republicans was a major victory for abortion right advocates. With most of the votes counted, they were prevailing by roughly 20% votes, with the turnout approaching what is typical for a winter election for governor. More updates lined up on the other side, but before that, let's have what we have coming up next. Decades of persistent drought and overuse have depleted one of North America's longest rivers. Now, fish biologists are rescuing endangered Rio Grande silvery minnows from pools of water in a dried-out section of the river. Biologists have come to a stretch of dry riverbed where Rio Grande, North America's 5th longest river, normally flows. They are hoping to save as many endangered fish as they could before the sun turns shrinking pools of water water into dust. For the first time in 4 decades, the river went dry. Many endangered Rio Grande, a shimmery pinky-sized native fish, went with it. Although summer storms have made the river wet again, experts warn that drying this far north is a signal of increasingly fragile water supply, and the current conservation measures may not be enough to save the minnow and still provide water to nearby farms, backyards and the parks. Now to sports. Australia's gold rush in the Commonwealth Games swimming pool continued, with the team picking up gold medals in 6 of the day's 10 events on Tuesday. There are also more gold medals for Commonwealth Games host England in the gymnasium, judo arena and on the 3x3 basketball court. Gymnast Alice Kinsella won the women's floor exercise, making up for the disappointment of missing out on an individual all-round medal. Daniel Powell and Lachlan Moorhead picked up judo gold medals, while the hosts' basketball teams beat Australia 17-16 in the men's final with a late 2-pointer from Hessen. India beat Singapore 3-1 in the men's table tennis team final, but lost by the same scoreline in the mixed team badminton final. Australia is on the top of the medal tally with 106 medals, including 42 gold medals so far, followed by host England in second with 86 medals, including 31 goals. Well, with this update, we come to the end of this English News Bulletin. But before we say goodbye, let's have a quick reminder of the major stories. Flood-fed Saptakosi River breaches embankments in Belka municipality of Udaipur. Locals being relocated at floods inundates settlements. Foreign Minister Wang warns over Pelosi's visit to China's Taiwan region, says move seriously violates One China principle and infringes China's sovereignty. Ukrainian grain ship reaches Turkish waters, ship first to leave Ukraine since Russia began blockading its ports in February. And Australia continues its dominance in Commonwealth Games with 42 gold medals so far, host England on second, followed by New Zealand on third. Well, that's all we have in this edition of English News Bulletin. We shall see you again with next round of English Bulletin at 6 in the evening. Till then, have a great time ahead and just stay tuned with us. Namaste.